Greetings and welcome. Let's start with a question. Does pleasure always equate to happiness, or can it sometimes lead to pain? A thought-provoking question indeed. This enigma has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers across the globe for centuries. Today we venture deep into the labyrinth of the human mind, the epicenter of emotions, cognitions, and sensations, where the threads of pain and pleasure often intertwine in perplexing ways. The task of unpacking this intricate relationship is no small feat. However, in the pursuit of knowledge, scientists have begun to the mysteries that shroud this association. Recent studies, some conducted by the brightest minds at Harvard University, have illuminated the paradoxical relationship between these two sensations. These studies are not just a few isolated experiments in some remote laboratory, they are comprehensive, involving thousands of individuals, from various walks of life, and employing advanced neuroimaging technologies to delve deep into the intellectual mosaic that is the human brain. The research has unveiled a fascinating result. It turns out that the same neural circuits, the ones responsible for our ability to think, feel, and perceive, activate when we experience both pain and pleasure. This means that these two ostensibly disparate sensations might have a lot more in common than we previously imagined. It points to an intricate and perhaps inseparable connection between them. This game-changing revelation has far-reaching implications. It could revolutionize the field of pain management, potentially paving the way for more objective assessments and personalized treatments. It could mean a rebirth for the millions of people who live in the shadows of pain. Consider this: an estimated 40 million Americans are trapped in the clutches of chronic pain. It's a staggering number, a silent epidemic that's often overlooked. But the understanding that the emotional and sensory aspects of pain share a common ground with pleasure offers hope. It hints at a future where new, more effective treatment approaches could possibly turn the tide in this fight. It presents a glimmer of hope for those who have been waiting in the darkness, a beacon that might lead them towards a life less burdened by pain. But the paradox extends far beyond just physical pain and pleasure. When we delve into the deeper psychological aspect, an intriguing pattern emerges that mirrors this paradox. It's almost spellbinding to observe how our mental state and emotional well-being can also oscillate vigorously between these two extraordinary extremes, similar to a tumultuous sea of feelings constantly ebbing and flowing. For instance, let's consider the compelling case of Democratic Senator John Fetterman, a man who has lived these extremes. In recent times, he courageously decided to seek treatment for clinical depression, a condition that is frequently characterized by a persistent sense of sadness, a profound feeling of emptiness, and debilitating fatigue. This mental health condition, which affects millions globally, can be a crippling burden to bear. And yet it's essential to realize that the same intricate mechanisms of our brain that lead to such deep-seated pain could also be the catalysts for intense pleasure. This dichotomy creates a complex, even convoluted interplay of emotions. It's not just a black and white or joy and sorrow scenario. Rather, it's a spectrum of emotions that we traverse, sometimes voluntarily, other times under the unrecognized influence of external or internal factors. Scientists have long explored this paradox, leading to the discovery of fascinating insights that widen our understanding of pain, pleasure, and the mind. The world of neuroscience and psychology offers further evidence of this dynamic paradox. One such study, conducted at the esteemed Tokyo University, has shed light on this relationship. The researchers found that mice develop depressive symptoms merely by being exposed to stressful situations. This startling revelation demonstrates the empathetic capabilities of our brain, mirroring the emotional state of others. Moreover, it reveals how our brain, in a well-meaning but sometimes misguided attempt to empathize, may inadvertently steer us into a state of emotional pain. This intriguing paradox of pain and pleasure, as reflected in the physical and emotional dimensions, continues to challenge our understanding, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. But the paradox extends beyond physical pain and pleasure. This demonstrates how our brain, in an attempt to empathize, may inadvertently lead us into a state of emotional pain. Yet, amidst this complexity, there's a silver lining. This complex organ, our brain, proves to be a double-edged sword, a fascinating paradox. The brain, a masterpiece of nature's engineering, holds the power to both hinder and heal. It is an intricate labyrinth brimming with possibilities, and within its convoluted folds and crevices, it possesses the potential to forge our path to pain or pleasure. For instance, let's delve into the functioning of a powerful neurotransmitter, dopamine, often referred to as the motivation molecule. This extraordinary substance plays a pivotal role in our feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. It is a driving force behind our inherent urge to explore, discover, and experience the world in new and exciting ways. Dopamine propels us to consistently seek novelty and rewards, to feelings of achievement and satisfaction. However, the functioning of dopamine is a delicate balancing act. While it can guide us towards pleasure, an unchecked surge of dopamine can veer us off course. Too much dopamine can have detrimental effects, leading to an array of complications such as anxiety and depression. Stanford professor Anna Lembke, an esteemed expert in this field, suggests a fascinating approach to tackle this issue. She recommends diligent tracking of compulsive behaviors and taking regular breaks. This is a way to reset and recalibrate the neural reward pathways, helping to maintain a healthy balance. The concept of hormesis, or beneficial stress, comes play here. Activities that we often view as stressors, such as taking cold showers, camping in the wilderness, or engaging in strenuous exercise, can unexpectedly protect our dopamine receptors. They can safeguard us from the negative impacts of an excessive dopamine surge. Such activities, surprisingly, have the capacity to boost mood and cultivate a sense of well-being. They push us out of our comfort zone and trigger a manageable amount of stress that eventually leads to a stronger, more resilient brain. And finally, ancient practices like mindfulness are powerful tools in our arsenal. They offer healthier, more controlled boosts of dopamine without the destructive side effects that drugs and other harmful substances can bring. They help us to tap into the inherent power of our minds, offering a path to harmony and balance. Even practices like meditation and mindfulness can offer healthier dopamine boosts without the negative effects of drugs. Interestingly, embracing pain and struggle can lead to what psychologists refer to as flow states, where individuals experience deep satisfaction and increased dopamine levels through immersive tasks. This idea might seem paradoxical at first glance. We are conditioned to avoid pain, and yet here we are, discussing its profound connection with the pinnacle of human bliss. So what exactly is this paradox all about? To understand this, we need to delve into the concept of flow states. Coined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, flow refers to a state of complete immersion in an activity. It's a state where you're so engrossed in your work that you lose track of time. You are in the zone, completely absorbed and utterly lost in what you're doing. What's truly fascinating is the way the human brain functions during these states. Our brain is an intricate network of nerve cells or neurons that communicate with each other using chemical signals called neurotransmitters. Dopamine is one such neurotransmitter. Known as the feel-good hormone, dopamine is closely associated with feelings of pleasure and happiness. When we're in a flow state, our brains release a surge of dopamine, leading to feelings of enjoyment and satisfaction. This brings us back to the connection with pain and struggle. The thing is, achieving a flow state isn't easy. It requires a high level of skill and a significant amount of effort, often bordering on struggle. The path to flow is paved with challenges, adversity, and yes, pain. But when we conquer these obstacles and enter the flow, we are rewarded with a euphoric sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. This underscores the paradoxical relationship between pain and pleasure. To summarize, pain and pleasure are not merely opposite ends of a spectrum. They are interconnected, sharing the same neural pathways. It's a profound realization that shatters our conventional understanding, revealing an intricate relationship between these two seemingly contradictory forces. The human brain, in its infinite wisdom and complexity, has intertwined the neural networks of both pleasure and pain. It suggests a sophisticated design, an evolutionary adaptation that has been honed over millions of years. Its interconnected system, where one sensation often paves the way for the other, creating a balance that influences our behavior and shapes our experiences. This realization not only revolutionizes our approach towards treating physical and emotional pain, but it also offers a whole new perspective on how we perceive pleasure. It forces us to rethink our strategies, to approach pain and pleasure not as isolated phenomena, but as a complex interplay of neurochemical reactions. It demands a complete overhaul of our therapeutic models, integrating elements that focus equally on both these aspects. The interrelation between pain and pleasure also significant implications on our understanding of emotions, relationships, and society. It busts the myth of the pain-pleasure dichotomy, revealing how these two sensations are actually intertwined, each affecting the other much more profoundly than we ever realized. Our perception of pleasure is not merely the absence of pain, it is much more complex and nuanced. Pleasure, in many ways, is the reward for enduring pain, for overcoming challenges, for stepping out of our comfort zone. The path to pleasure leads through the territory of pain, making the journey as vital as the destination. In this intricate dance of pain and pleasure, the human brain continues to baffle and amaze us with its complexity and resilience. As we continue to explore, we uncover new insights about ourselves and the world around us. Every discovery, every revelation gives us a deeper understanding about our own existence, throwing light on the beautiful intricacies of the human mind. Each insight takes us a step closer to unraveling the mysteries of our consciousness, reinforcing the fascinating paradox that is the human experience. If you like this content, please do the thing that's often asked: like and subscribe, and don't forget to share. Thank you.